Alright, patch time. What do we have this week? Vivian, the City Lord of Witchhaven, and Furious, the City Lord of Aachen, have appeared. Play through episode 2, chapter 3, Mining City Aachen, if I'm saying that right, and fight battles in Vivian's side story, An Uphill Battle. A hero-exclusive equipment system in the Hall of Trials preseason, where players can obtain such equipment, has been opened. Additionally, we have various quality of life updates. See below for more information. Will do. So Vivian, the City Lord of Witchhaven, is an Earth Elemental Mage who is capable not only of providing buffs to her allies, but also boasts a powerful AoE attack. So here we have Vivian. I think we've seen this character before somewhere. I don't remember where, but in some like art or something. She looks interesting. I like her design, but her chest looks terrible. What is even going on in here? This like that doesn't look right at all. Anyways, granddaughter of a reclusive magical scholar, Vivian is gifted with incredible magical ability. As a leader of Witchhaven, she maintains a delicate balance between bickering factions of sorcerers, but the growing number of unknown and machinations of political enemies have her treading on thin ice. Vivian is an Earth Elemental Mage, boss an AoE attack. Okay, let's just read her skill descriptions. So, Vitality Drain. Smashes the enemy with a rock. What the heck? Increasing the caster's combat readiness by 10%. Critical hit will increase the caster's combat readiness by an additional 10%. She gets like 5 more from her skill ups. Thunder God's Cry. Attacks all enemies with a thunderstorm. Activates Thunder God's Cry again when an enemy is defeated. Each subsequent Thunder God's Cry activated this way deals decreased damage and can be activated up to 3 times. Well, that's interesting. So if you kill someone, it triggers again, and then if the second one kills someone, it can trigger a 3rd time. That's interesting. I feel like that's going to be a lot of fun to use. Soul Burn, increased damage, and then just straight damage increases from the skill enhance. And then Magic Overcharge. Fully amplifies mana, granting immunity to all allies for 3 turns before granting increased attack greater to the caster for 3 turns, while increasing attack of all allies except the caster for 3 turns. That sounds really nice. So it's a 3-turn buff, which is not something you see very often. Grants immunity to the whole team, and everyone gets an attack buff, but she herself gets a greater attack buff. Almost a shame that there's like no kind of like extra turn mechanic in here. Like soul burn, extra turn. That'd be ridiculous though. I can't even, if they did that, I can't even imagine how ridiculous she'd be in PvP if you could just soul burn that and then skill 2, and if you kill someone you go again. Yeah, probably for the best there's no extra turn there. Anyways. New artifact, Dignus Orb. That is a weird name. So it's a mage exclusive, 5-star artifact. Grants a barrier equivalent to 60% of attack for 2 turns when the caster uses a non-attack skill, up to 120% at max. So you give yourself a barrier when using a non-attack skill. Mage exclusive. Okay. So she's going to be on a banner with her artifact. Is this... Yeah, this is 2 weeks, right? Okay. Then she has a side story. With her impressive magical ability, Vivian won the title of City Lord, but it seems that her fellow sorcerers are unwilling to accept someone with such humble beginnings. In the face of rising disdain and mystery, Vivian's battle begins. And that'll be available for the same 2 weeks. Monster Report is the event currency. Difficulty level stage, so 4 and 10 have multiple difficulties. Beat the lower ones to do the higher ones, blah blah blah. That all looks the same as usual. Then you have a stage that's locked, obtain 250 currency. So Vivian's the only one who has stat buffs. There are 3 stage missions for the following stages. Players will be able to obtain Sky Stones when they complete stage missions in the following stages. Which is... It says there are 3 stage missions. Oh, alright. There's 3 missions for each of these stages. Which is 1, 4, 7, and 10. Oh, that's just like these usual things. Okay. And then here's everything you can exchange for. So you have mercenaries, medicines. I think I need some of those. Reputation, silver transmit stones at the end. And the quest that gives us a 4-star artifact ticket. And then the star rewards. So episode 2, chapter 3, Mining City Aachen. So the Mining City Aachen, which is now famous for forging the best equipment using its abundant resources, is now available to all of our heirs. Aachen is situated in a region full of precious metals and grew into a city that is now famous for forging the best equipment in Sidonia. Players will be able to enter this region once they clear 210. Then we get some like new enemies here. These look cool. Especially this guy in the back. I like these new enemy designs. What are these guys even carrying? Are these supposed to be like guns or something? What are these? Anyway. The AP exchange. Players will receive Merchant Guild requests once they clear 310. And you have your different quest things to unlock the AP exchange. Please note this image is from the QA server and may change in the live version. Okay. So eliminate 10 goblins, give 3 leather sheaths, clear stage 3S6, and acquire 20 Aachen Army chess pieces and 20 Aachen Army helms. And then you can exchange. There's the Breath of Orbis. That's nice. And there's a helmet, an attack set helmet, if we didn't have enough attack set gear already. Then sharp spearheads, leather sheaths, archer's visions. This has health, attack, speed, and crit chance. Okay. And then story journal, episode 2, chapter 3 has been added. Players will be able to obtain Ironblood Fortress background pack, if anyone cares about that. So this is part 1. Now we have a part 2. So part 2, new connection hero Furious. So this is the guy we were just looking at in the AP shop. His name is Furious, apparently. That's a weird name. A man of principle, Furious believes that a leader should serve the community, not individuals. He believes that the City Lord is an important cog in the machine that is Aachen. So Furious has the ability to both inflict the debuff Burn on his opponent, as well as the ability to decrease their defense. Furious is an Ice Elemental Ranger, with the ability to grant buffs to his allies. So he's an ice hero that burns people. That's interesting. So, skill 1, fires a gun while dashing toward the enemy with a 20% chance to burn for 2 turns, which goes up by 15%. And skill 2, raise morale of all allies Granting increased critical hit chance for 2 turns before granting the caster an extra turn. Oh, so we have another crit buffer. That's nice. They finally put another crit buffer in the game. And it grants him an extra turn. Skill Enhance has a 1-turn cooldown. So, and then skill 3, attack with a fatal shot with an 80% chance to decrease defense for 2 turns, which does go up to 100. Soul burn for increased damage dealt. So here we have an animation. The heck even is that? Some kind of gun? That thing is weird looking. Like, what is going on? This weapon looks like so bulky on the front end. But then you look at his art and it's like, where is this thing even at? He's like holding the stock back here. Or in front of him. And it doesn't look like there's anything behind him except like maybe these things. Is that even part of his weapon? Oh yeah, it looks like it's got like horns on it. Anyways. So to get him, clear 310, eliminate 300 gnolls. I guess those are going to be enemies to fight. Give 500 Brave Crests and give 400 Aachen Adventure Points. It's easy enough. Hall of Trials Preseason Update. The Challenge Training Grounds has come to an end, and the Hall of Trials has been added. During the preseason, the boss Charon will appear and have different characteristics every week. After clearing 6-1, go to the lobby, battle, side story. What does it say to go to side story? Anyways. Go to battle and you go to Hall of Trials here. So this is replacing the challenge menu. It looks like. Hall of Trials is weekly content and players can enter using Book of Retribution. It will reset Monday at the server time reset. Book of Retribution is a ticket required to enter the Hall of Trials. 3 Books of Retribution will be distributed every week on Monday at server reset time. Players will be able to purchase Book of Retribution from the shop using Skystones. Limit 5 per week. Whoa. This looks fancy. Why is this? So here we have time left, and then these other ones says open 4 days, 11 days, 18 days, I guess. But why does it say DD? Opens in 4 DD? Anyways. Players are able to see advantages and disadvantages of the boss from a team that will cause the most damage. So you can see decreases damage dealt by mage heroes by 50%, immune from decreased hit chance debuff. Range heroes are granted increased attack with 30%, defense and health 30%. Increases damage dealt against boss monsters inflicted with something or other. Cuts off. So each week we're going to have like a Charon battle. And I assume they're going to change what the battle is periodically as well. But every week he'll have different like strengths and weaknesses that you have to take advantage of. You apparently get points. Currency that is required to enter will be deducted at the end of battle. Players will not be able to use guardians or supporters in their team. Okay. In the Hall of Trials, players will not be able to use Soul Burn skill as the soul gauge will not fill. Oh. That's another interesting thing. Can't Soul Burn. Practice Battle. If you select Practice Battle when entering, then no Book of Retribution will be consumed and no rewards will be received. Use Practice Battles to come up with the best team. Alright. So what is the point ranking system all about? Number of points in rank will increase according to the damage dealt to the boss. The Hall of Trials consists of 3 battle phases and 2 weakened phases. You can obtain additional points when you defeat the boss. Berserk. The boss will be in a state of Berserk when their Berserk gauge is full, so that's that red bar there. When the boss is in a state of Berserk, their stats will greatly increase and they'll become even more powerful. Defeat the boss before he goes Berserk. Alright? When the boss's health reaches 0, they will become paralyzed and receive increased damage. If the boss's gauge fills up when they are weakened, they will be released of their paralyzed state and become even stronger. Once the boss is out of a weakened state, all effects applied to the boss will be dispelled and their health and combat readiness gauges will be restored to 100%. Now, so apparently when you kill him, you get you get some extra rounds of free attacks on him where you do more damage, and then he powers up and fights you again. And I assume this keeps going until you lose. Battle ends when all allies are defeated. Yeah, there you go. Or when the boss is defeated. Wait, so how is the boss defeated if when you kill him, he just goes on a cooldown and then comes back stronger? How exactly do you defeat him? Players will obtain the currency Wisdom's Gauge according to the results. Oh, so it doesn't seem like there's too big of a point difference here for a D rank. You at the very least get 16 of these things, and then at max rank you get 25. So Wisdom's Gauge is a currency required for the Hall of Trials exchange. The higher the grade, the more Wisdom's Gauge a player will obtain. So exchange. Players can obtain exclusive equipment from the Hall of Trials exchange using Wisdom's Gauge. Players can purchase exclusive equipment for Chloe, Rose, Destina, and Wanderer Silk. We plan to add more exclusive equipment periodically. Exclusive equipment stats and skill effects will be randomly applied when this equipment is purchased. So stats and skill effects will be randomly applied. And these cost 40. Geez, they have a lot of points here. It can give you speed. So I saw a little bit of this. This new unique equipment system or exclusive equipment. And I don't particularly like this. I'd rather them just buff these heroes instead of giving them these unique special equipment that they can put on that gives them bonuses. I'd rather them just buff these heroes. This unique equipment or exclusive equipment system seems cool and interesting, but I don't actually like it. Especially since you can upgrade one of their skills, but it's chosen at random. That seems really stupid. So Chloe's thing can give her a random amount of 7 to 14% attack. And it can buff her Magic Bolt. It's just 2 different upgrades for Magic Bolt, apparently. 50% chance to grant the caster an extra turn when using Magic Bolt. Oh god. Anything that's oh, you have a chance to gain an extra turn, I hate mechanics like that. This is why RNL is one of the most broken artifacts in the game. This is why Clori was so ridiculous. I hate random extra turn mechanics like this. So, Magic Bolt can also dispel all buffs from the enemy when using it. This is applied before inflicting Magic Nail, so you strip their immunity. Decreases the enemy's defense for 2 turns when using Hyper Strike. So for Rose, hers grants speed. That's nice. So skill 1 activates all effects regardless of health when using Sequential Cutter. So Rose, I believe when she's above 50%, she has a chance to provoke with her skill 1, and when she's below 50% health, she increases her defense for 1 turn. So with this, she'll just do both, regardless of her health level. So her skill 2 applies the same effect to the caster when using Shield of Light. So her shield is grants a barrier and dispels 2, I think, debuffs. So this would let her, so when she uses this on an ally, she also gains the effects. Then Goddess of Victory decreases cooldown by 1 turn. Honestly, all of these don't seem that great. I think the best thing about this is just the speed increase for her. If you want to use her as a like a turn 1, pusher and buffer for a cleave team. So Destina's thing grants effect resistance. So Key to an Oath dispels 1 debuff from an ally with the lowest health. Using Key to an Oath, that's her skill 1. So you get a debuff removal. It says dispel 1 debuff from the ally with the lowest health. But what if your lowest health ally doesn't have any debuffs and someone else does? What happens then? Do you still get a debuff removal on someone, or do you not? That's a question. So regen increases the target's combat readiness by 20% when using regen, which is an extra 20% because it already pushes people by like 30%, I think. And then Destina's Grace decreases skill cooldown by 1 turn, which I wish they would just do this. Just buff her and give her this. She needs cooldown reduction. Her cooldowns are too freaking long. Especially when you compare it to Angelica, who has like a 2-turn cooldown on her skill 2, which is stupidly absurd compared to Destina. Then Wanderer Silk, who also gains speed. And then Automatic Fire grants the caster an extra attack regardless of whether the enemy is debuffed when using Automatic Fire. Then Shock Arrow has 2 different upgrades. Dispels 1 buff from the enemy when using Shock Arrow. Effect is applied before inflicting silence. And the other effect is increased speed of all allies for 2 turns when using Shock Arrow. That seems nice. So I definitely feel like Rose has the weakest one out of these 4. Hers does not impress me. So, Training Grounds reputations will be replaced with Hall of Trials reputations. Previously obtained rewards and achievements will be maintained. Which was really the only reason to even do the Training Grounds stuff before. Like all of these. The only reason you ever did them was to just get your first time clear reputation bonuses. Anyway, so these are now all being replaced by these, I guess. So I guess that means, does this mean that since I've done all of these reputations already, that I can't do these ones, they'll just already be done? I don't know, we'll have to see. So preseason. The regular season will begin once the preseason ends and a new boss will be added. Okay, so Kayron's just around for the preseason, I guess. Please note that once the regular season begins, there may be some balanced adjustments made to the boss's characteristics, battle, and rewards. We have made plans so that once the preseason ends, players may craft exclusive equipment in the Alchemist Steeple that has the skill they desire. So I don't know how long the seasons of the Hall of Trials are going to last, but it sounds like once a season goes out of rotation, you can just craft that season's exclusive equipment in the Steeple and choose the skill that you want. So at least there's that. Then exclusive equipment system added, not updated. Certain heroes will be able to use exclusive equipment with this update. Exclusive equipment is obtained from the Hall of Trials. So as of right now, it's just Chloe, Rose, Destina, and Wanderer Silk. Equipping conditions. The applicable hero must have been 5-star awakened or higher. So you're going to have to spend those catalysts if you want to use these. If the applicable hero has been 5-star awakened or higher and has the correct exclusive equipment, then the dedicated exclusive equipment slot will be available to use, which looks like it just kind of attaches itself to the artifact slot. Players can view and equip exclusive equipment that is owned. When equipped, the exclusive equipment will provide a benefit to a certain skill and stat. So, skills enhanced via exclusive equipment can be identified by a unique icon frame, which is kind of hard to see. Looks like it has like a thin outline with some extra like dots or something in the corners. The cost of unequipped exclusive equipment. Oh, of course there's an unequipped cost. How could they add a new equipment type to the game and not add an unequipped cost? Of course. More unequipped costs. So buff and debuff text improvements. Buff and debuff skill description has been improved to show the actual values now. They start off with idle. My live show won't stop until my turn is over. Cannot be dispelled. Cannot buff. So it's unbuffable now, just named a cannot buff. Makes the target unable to be buffed. Decreases attack is decrease attack by 50%. Increase attack by 50%. Increase attack greater, 75%. Penetrate, ignores target's defense when inflicting damage. Rage, increases attack and speed by 10%. Various levels of Berserk, that gives all sorts of stat bonuses. Stun, target is unable to act for a certain number of turns. Provoke, target enemy who provoked them with a basic... Target attacks the enemy who provoked them with a basic skill at the start of the turn. Magic Nail, when attacked, receives additional damage equivalent to 2% of max health with a 25% chance to be stunned for 1 turn. So that's nice because I actually didn't know how Chloe's Magic Nail worked exactly. So stuff like this is going to be really nice. So immune, target is not affected by any debuffs or harmful effects. Decrease hit chance by 50%. Invincible, neutralizes all damage taken when attacked. It's important to note that you can still be debuffed while you're invincible. So counterattacks with basic skill when attacked is not triggered by extra attacks or counterattacks. Or I think dual attacks? Dual attacks don't trigger counters, right? Or do they? I don't know. Anyways. Reflect, reflects some of the damage taken. Reflected damage cannot be higher than the caster's max health. Decreased defense by 70%. Increased defense by 60%. Barrier, neutralizes some of the damage taken when attacked. Immortal, target cannot be killed for a certain number of turns. Loveliness, don't stop there. Serve me already, meow. Oh my gosh, idle and loveliness. Just have funny little text descriptions. Revive, revives with 30% of health after being killed. Decrease speed by 30%. So I also didn't know how much decreased speed decreased your speed by. And increased speed as well. So those are 30%. Increased speed greater. Is there an increased speed greater in the game? I don't remember anyone having an increased speed greater. Maybe they just put that in here because they're planning to add it. But I can't think of anyone that actually has that. I don't think that exists yet. So sleep, target becomes unable to act for a certain number of turns. Receiving damage counts as a critical hit, and the effect is dispelled after being attacked, unless you miss. I really wish they would make it so sleep also guarantees that you don't miss. Anyways, Guardian Blessing increases attack and crit chance by 20%. That's another thing I didn't know what it did. Or I didn't know the exact values. Stealth cannot be targeted if there are other allies and suffers decreased damage from AoE attacks, dispelled after being attacked. Regen recovers 5% of max health when attacked. Transfers debuffs from the caster to the target. Poison receives damage equivalent to 5% of max health at the start of the turn. Continuous heal recovers 15% of max health at the start of every turn. This effect can stack. So why did they tack? This effect can stack onto the end of this. But like it doesn't say that on poison. Anyways, extra turn against an extra turn. Bleed. Target receives proportional damage proportional to the caster's attack at the start of the turn. Should also say this effect can stack. Critical hit resistance increases crit resistance by 50%. Increase critical hit damage increases crit damage by 50%. Increase crit chance by 50%. Silence, the target cannot use skills that require cooldowns. Vigor increases attack and defense by 30%. Cannot be dispelled. That's Ken's buff, right? Vigor. Anyways, Bomb. At the end of the debuff duration, the target receives damage proportional to the caster's attack and becomes stunned for 1 turn. Debuff duration cannot be extended or decreased. I have no idea what this is. Target increases damage received by the target by 15% while decreasing evasion by 15%. I didn't know this decreased evasion. Dual attack, chance to attack the enemy with a basic skill after an ally has attacked them, unless able to act. Protect, when the target is attacked, caster will receive the damage in their place. Burn, target receives huge damage proportional to the caster's attack at the start of the turn. Unhealable, makes the target unable to be healed. Increase evasion by 50%. Empiric touch, recovers 10% of the attacker's health when attacking the target. So you just recover 10% of your health. I assumed that it was like based on the damage that you did, but apparently not. So, bug fixes and other improvements. Heroes, Violet's relationships have been added. Okay. Fix skill description for skills that apply an effect to the ally with the least health. There are no functional changes. So it's Ruel's key to a note, Destina's key to a note, Tamarin's Serene Tune, Mr. Chain's Life Drain. The tooltip for Ken's skill, Celestial Kick, has been improved. There are no functional changes. Kicks the enemy, increasing speed of the caster for 2 turns with a 75% chance to decrease defense of the target for 2 turns. Grants 40 fighting spirit when the enemy is defeated. When the caster is granted vigor, chance of decreasing defense becomes 100%, ignoring effect resist. Damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's max health. Okay. The text, damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's defense, has been added to Rose's skill tooltip. There are no functional changes. Yeah, I heard that she had like a defense scale on one of her skills, and well, I guess it would be her skill 1. Seeing as how her skill 2 and 3 don't do damage. I don't know though, I guess maybe her barrier scales with defense. I don't know. Well, it says damage dealt, so it has to be her skill 1. Anyways, I'd heard about that this was a thing, but it didn't say it, so they added that. Oh, and it says right here, attacks with a sword, chance to provoke. Caster's health is more, increased defense when it's low. Damage dealt increases proportional to defense. The text, damage dealt increases proportional to the caster's defense, has been added to Fighter Maya's skill tooltip for the skill Strike of Provocation. Okay, an issue where soul skill, another issue with Volcanic Viper. I feel like every week, an issue with soul skill Volcanic Viper has been fixed. Did not receive the effect of the artifact of Buries' Tooth has been fixed. Okay. An issue where Chaos Inquisitor, when dispelling an enemy's buff by counterattacking, did not receive an increase to his combat readiness has been fixed. Issue where Seaside Bellina's skill, I'm with my friends, shared damage with the character that was not the foremost ally has been fixed. An issue where Seaside Bellina's attack, You're Not Cute, would not target stealth enemies has been fixed. An issue where Apocalypse Ravi would not gain fighting spirit after using her soul burn has been fixed. Text will now appear when certain heroes' passive skill is activated. Okay. I hope that applies to like Assassin Cartusia or something. Just so you can see like you missed someone. It's like you missed because of Assassin Cartusia. Anyways, improvements have been made to show the number of stacked effects instead of text. So Ranon's Memorandum, Devil's Brand, Ascending Axe, Hellcutter, Border Coin, Violet's Talisman. So that's cool. So you'll know how many stacks you have on these things. Text will be displayed at the start of battle for Oath Key when activated. Text will be displayed when Sigurd's Scythe is activated when the player's health is below 50%. Text will be displayed when Holy Sacrifice is activated. Text will be displayed for Rosa Hargana before the start of the turn and at the end of the turn. Monster, the skill tooltip for the monster Blood Slime has been improved. There are no functional changes. Based on the enemy, decreasing the enemy's max health by 5%. Each time the skill is used, the amount decreased is increased. Battle, an issue where some passive skills and artifacts which were triggered based on health were not immediately applied in certain situations have been fixed. Heroes, Bloodblade Corinne, Sid, Ravi, Apocalypse Ravi, Charles, Luna, Violet, Mirsa, Gloomy Rain, Captain Rigorous, Sage Balances On. Artifacts, Egg of Delusion, Sword of the Morning, and Mighty Yaksha. The Soulburn effect text when decreasing skill cooldown has been improved by specifying the number of turns by which cooldown is being decreased. There are no functional changes. All skill cooldowns decrease by 2 turns. Wait, what? All skill cooldowns decreased by 2 turns. What is this talking about? Oh, is it referring to the soul burn that decreases skill cooldowns? Okay. Issue where the effects of Magic Nail were not being immediately applied when afflicted targets are attacked has been fixed. An issue was fixed. Okay, great job typing that. Where the target debuff did not decrease the evasion chance of the target, and an issue where the next target constantly appeared when a hero with the target debuff was attacked has been fixed. I feel like that sentence just ran a circle around me and I have no idea what I just read. Anyways, moving on. An issue where after a passive skill has been activated, the skill text would display incorrectly has been fixed. Adventure, an issue where a stage would not unlock when traveling from Britannia's Levelin area to Azura has been fixed. After clearing Sidonia's Jerdun borderlands, Black Spirit Mount, players can now move to Mining City Aachen via portal. Some typos in Episode 2's main story have been fixed. Labyrinth, an issue where, in the royal capital Asmokalis, when Sol used the skill Volcanic Viper, once again, on Secretary Vera after its transformation and caused the silence debuff to be inflicted, even when Vera is granted with immunity, has been fixed. Issue where, in royal capital Asmokalis, when Sol used the skill Volcanic Viper on Juleaf Council after merging and caused the silence debuff to be inflicted when the council is granted immunity, has been fixed. The timer for Protector's punishment now displays during the arena. Oh, that's nice. They have a... Oh, it's right here in the corner. Okay. That'll be nice to know. Automaton Tower. An issue in the tower where Jealous Aztesta's skill Mana Explosion had a 1-turn skill cooldown reduction applied at the start of battle has been fixed. Guild. Improvements have been made so that when a player is selecting teams for Guild War, the scroll of the hero list has changed so that it will remain in a fixed location. An issue where the Guild War result did not display the ranking range has been fixed. When the game crashes during the middle of a Guild War battle, the results of the final battle will no longer be recorded regardless of whether the player has won or lost. Okay, so it says the results will no longer be recorded, but does it still consume your token, whatever the token is called to do guild battles? Does it still consume your token? Because if it does, then there's really, I don't feel like there's any reason to actually do this. And it probably still consumes your token, because I feel like if it didn't, then people would abuse this. And they would like purposefully do something to make their game crash. But anyways. An issue where, in certain situations on defense, when moving heroes in a new location, slots for a team for 1 round would be empty has been fixed. Okay. Summon. An issue where, upon touching the Mystic Metal icon while in the Mystic Summon area, the player would be moved to an empty store has been fixed. What the heck? Anyways. Other UI dates displayed in the game had typos corrected, and notation style for the dates have been unified. Penguin levels will no longer display when receiving them as a reward. Okay. The help icon button location has been adjusted. Improvements have been made in the equipment upgrade tutorial where the player no longer has to upgrade equipment by using charms. That's nice. Because I always skip that tutorial. So I'm like, I don't want to use my charm on this junk. Just skip this tutorial. Anyways, the preview and details button for speciality change have been changed so that they display depending on the situation. The push notification that is sent after 24 hours of not logging in has been changed. Issue where, when moving to another hero's page via relationship page in the hero journal, the hero stars would flicker has been fixed. An issue where in the manage equipment section under certain situations the secondary filter did not work has been fixed. An issue where after an attempt to make an in-game purchase on an Android device, the back button did not work as intended has been fixed. And an issue where hero promotion materials were not displaying at the top of the list has been fixed. For language, an issue in Krau's skill description for a skill charge, incorrectly listed damage being dealt proportion of the caster's defense has been changed to show it increases proportion of the caster's max health. For English, German, French, Spanish, and Portuguese. Typos and overlapping text have been fixed in various languages. Okay. That seems to be everything. So I like all these, that they're clarifying what all the buffs and debuffs do. That's nice, especially for newer players who are trying to learn the game. I don't like this new exclusive equipment system. I'd rather they just buff these heroes and not add more unequipped costs to the game when we need to have less unequipped costs. And also that these exclusive equipment are the only thing you can exchange for in this shop, aren't they? Did it show the shop? Where is it? I guess that's here. So are these exclusive equipment the only thing you can exchange for? I feel like it'd be nice, like especially if you don't have like any of these heroes. Is there any point to even doing this system? I guess you can still like stack up points and save them for the future, I guess, but I feel like it'd be nice if there was something else to exchange for if you didn't want any of this equipment. So, anyways, we have 2 new heroes. I'll definitely summon for Vivian. She seems interesting. I have a lot of bookmarks to spend. So I'll be summoning for her for sure. I also need more Earth heroes. I have very few Earth heroes. Like, I think the only Earth hero I have that I use is Destina. And that's it, I think. No, oh, Belina, of course. How could I forget Belina? Belina and Destina. And we have a new side story to do, so that'll be fun. Anyways, I will see you next week when we get our next patch. See you later.